Personally, I have a tool that I absolutely love from the Understanding group where they have put together a mashup of IA heuristics. And so it goes through all the different pieces of that, whether it's findable, accessible, controllable, valuable, all of the different aspects. So for me, I'm process oriented, and I love that sort of checklist, if you will, and it's a mashup of all Nielsen Norman, Andre Resmini, Peter Morville, Lou Rosenfeld. It's all of these great minds all together in this one place. And there are certain heuristics that I think lean more towards empathy than others. One of them is valuable, where I was talking about earlier, like, why are we building this? Can this improve somebody's life, and how? Empathy can be used as a fluffy term, so I think that's why I lean more towards the scientific approach of, here are these different heuristics, and here is a list of how you can solve for valuable. Here's what makes this thing credible. Well, when we're doing like a sketching session and sort of blue skying some of these ideas, we cross-check it against those heuristics just to say, oh, is this a findable thing? Is this valuable? Where can we make a meaningful paywall that somebody actually wants to give you money for this product or service, where it's a natural evolution of that user flow? The personas obviously help a lot too, to understand exactly who your target market is, and it creates that objective way to design for your personas and not for internal different departments.
Sometimes it can be harsh feedback and we have to go all the way back to the drawing board, but that's okay. We've learned what we were doing right and what we weren't doing so well. And so empathy plays at every stage and all the way through. And then we want to close the loop as well, so that it's a constant loop of feedback and iteration. And each time we're requesting feedback, we're drawing back on empathy and what we can learn from our guests.
We don't have to necessarily be skinwalkers, right? We don't have to say like, oh, hang on one second, let me put on this persona and imagine what they would do in this scenario, right? To me, it usually comes down to a handful of insights, right? Is this about how do they know how to make a choice? Do people understand what's going to happen when they hit the button?
Another tool where I think we create empathy is by mapping that customer journey, and really not just the what and the touch points, but the emotional feeling that a person is going through. Because that, again, creates a place for you to connect with the customer and your solutions.
So when we get a new brief, the first thing we try and do is boil it down to its basics, look at the personas that are most involved, and then look at the values that each of those personas may have and may bring to the table before we start designing any kind of experience on top of that. So it starts with empathy, and it starts with boiling it down to the basic values and beliefs that different people bring to an experience or a service.